accountability to families and to facilitate stronger oversight by the council. The parents we represent have their children ripped away from them because of speculation that the children are at risk. The children are then put in foster placements where rates of disappearance, abuse, and trafficking are shockingly high because their parent can't protect them. An estimated 19% of children and youth who go missing from foster placements experience sex trafficking. In spite of this, we do not have access to foster agencies' policies on this phenomenon or even data on the number of children who are missing from their placements. At the Reckoning, Graham Wyndham, New York Foundling, and Good Shepherd, three of New York's biggest foster agencies, owned up to the harm they've done, particularly to Black families, and affirmed their commitment to prioritizing family integrity. But we still hear about foster parents using their position as a power trip and keeping kids from their families without any agency repercussions. Foster placements receive payment for each child they have, in addition to having a clothing allowance for the child. Yet our clients are reporting that their children are showing up for visits, wearing nothing more than a denim jacket in these sub-freezing temperatures. To our knowledge, there is no audit to ensure foster placements use these funds for the benefit of the child. We also know that foster agencies steal survivor and disability benefits from the children in their care. This was raised at a hearing last spring, and we still don't have answers on where that money is now. It is a massive conflict of interest when foster agencies are tasked with monitoring themselves, or when ACS, their contract provider, who never doesn't renew contracts, is meant to monitor them. There needs to be data that is publicly available and easily accessible so that the people of New York can see what's really going on. Thank you to the committee members and the chair for your time and attention to this matter. I'll be submitting written testimony with more detailed recommendations.
Good afternoon, Chair Stevens. My name is Chaz Budnick. I work at the Brooklyn Defender Services within the...
Just put your mic down a little bit,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
Thank you. Within the family defense practice, which represents parents in Article 10 abuse and neglect cases. And specifically, I work in our Preserving Family Bonds team, which focuses on late-stage foster care cases and termination of parental rights violence. And I'm here to talk about some disconnects. The chair recognized that there have been some disconnects between what was said about policy today and what's happening on the ground. We see that case planning lacks alignment with the law. That the law says that the state's first obligation is to provide parents with the assistance necessary to reunify and to support kinship and return to parent. We're not seeing that happen. And we're seeing that case planning is not aligned with social science, that children need security to feel safe and loved and to know that the world is predictable and at least makes sense. That the person to whom a child is attached is a person that they see meeting their needs, and that parents' opportunities to do that within the system is severely restricted and is not reflective of their capacity or their desire to do so. That children can be provided with security through stable connections to extended family, friends, neighborhoods, and schools, and that from the custody context, when there is significant conflict between caregivers, that becomes a problem that's internalized for children. And so what we would like to see is that case planning stays in foster care temporary and brief, that there is an actual move to implement the policy of least restrictive visitation, that if there is a removal, there should be consideration of the duties of parenting that can still be performed, such as school pickup and drop off, attendance at curriculars, involvement of parents in their children's medical and mental health and educational needs, and an ongoing voice in how their children are doing, and it's an opportunity for agencies and foster parents or resource families to ally with parents for the best needs of children. We're also asking that case planning become collaborative and not about ultimatums, that agencies are uniquely positioned to make sure that these connections between providers for children and other schools and places that they're encountering are connected to parents, that they have access to that information and that they're sharing that information with resource families. And we think that this will be something that will promote the best interests of children. And we're asking that case planning be reactive and proactive, and that from the beginning, from removal, there's planning for reunification. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can submit that so we can also comment.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sharon Brown. Before I start, I would just like to say, remember Israel, defend Israel.
Can you please make sure you stay on topic? Thank
Yes,
you.
I will. Release the hostages, let Yahweh's people go. Okay. The foster care system, the way it is set up now is just to take children out of the homes and to instead of reunification, they try to keep the children, have them adopted and things like that. But as it was testified, the monies for the children are abused and not given to the child or used for the child. They are out there without the proper garments for the weather and things like that. Their education, different things like that, is not taken care of the way the parent would. I think that the foster care system can use some of the funds that they have and use that if the parents, especially specifically, has a problem with money. The foster care system could use that to fund the parents. Not that they would really be foster care for their own children, but they could technically
Give them additional
give them
supports.
additional supports. Now, the ACS, a lot of times we've heard bad things about the ACS. They've allowed things to happen to children. So when they step in, I'm going to applaud them now because I don't believe that children should be in homosexual homes. So I agree with the agencies and what they have done and stated. And for everyone that's fighting for there to be LGBTQ parents, there's me and many of us that are going to fight to try to stop that. The agency has spoken. They said they do not want it. They have made the decision based on what this nation stands for. We are a Jewish Christian nation. We call it Judeo-Christian. That just means Jewish Christian. And that is our values, no homosexuality. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Well, one, I want to say that we do support everyone, especially the LGBTQ. They are part of our community. We will continue to fight for them and ensure that equity is happening and make sure that we have those homes available. And but we respect everyone's views. So, Lauren, I would love to make sure that we connect you with this family who, I know Ali Foni has done amazing work and want to make sure that some of my bigger supporters are working